I don't think I'm breaking new ground with this statement when I say that TikTok is a cesspool. You can get everything from true crime psychics to mental health munchhausens to the bug-gendered types. All types, really. It doesn't matter. It is a world of entertainment easy to get lost in. That much is certain. I was contemplating what to do with this Halloweeb special this year when I thought, let's just jump on the bandwagon of TikTok response content for this Halloweeb special. I wanted to do something a little bit more lighthearted. We are killing brain cells and saving me from about 20 years worth of pre- and post-production. I'm okay with this. So somewhere along the lines of listening to these 30-second snippets of self-righteous, judgy, xenophobic nonsense right around here in the production of this video, I started to lose my sanity, and that will become very evident as we progress. And yes, I say xenophobic, because that's basically what this boils down to. People not being able to handle strangers, the white impasta, or any impasta for that matter, embracing their culture, invading their spaces, as it were. So xenophobia, being afraid and having a strong apathy towards strangers or foreigners, obviously fits the mold here. And that's what happens when a person is accused of cultural appropriation. It's them being accused of attempting to enter into a space that they are not welcome in a manner of speaking. Except these spaces are, of course, hairstyles and clothing types and accessories kept under lock and key and deemed sacred because... mine? It's all a little too pre-KE elementary school-y for my liking. So for those of you who need a refresher from last year and all previous years, the subject that we are tackling today and here and in the Halloweeb special revolves around cultural appropriation. That is the theme for the Halloweeb special, because it is always so relevant this time of year. 'Tis the season, after all. But cultural appropriation, and the definition as sourced by Wikipedia, is the unacknowledged or inappropriate adoption of an element or elements of one culture or identity by members of another culture or identity. This can be controversial when members of a dominant culture appropriate from minority cultures. A few problems with that. How do we deem what's inappropriate and what's not? It's entirely subjective. Additionally, what qualifies as a minority culture? Does the minority culture have to exist as a minority in a culture where there is a dominant culture? Or are they a minority culture across the globe? Because, as we all know, minorities no longer are minorities when they exist in a space that is dominantly of their culture or heritage or ethnicity. It gets tricky, which is why we do these videos, to kind of break things down and take them apart piece by piece. This year, I wanted to focus on an aspect of cultural appropriation and the hyper-affliction that people get with cultural appropriation, specifically regarding the sensitivity around attaching your worth as a person, as a culture, to the singular access you think that you have to any individual aspect associated with that culture. While you may have every right to claim ownership of a concept, presumably, I would posit that it is a waste of breath to lose your shit over a white girl with dreadlocks, or a white girl wearing a kimono, or a white girl wearing hair sticks, or a white girl with a fox eye trend. The list is endless, because of course it is. It has to be. There will never be a shortage of things to complain about. So anyway, between the incessant trendy songs and or audio snippets for this TikTok video theme, the constant replaying of the same clips over and over and over, and then once more inside of my head, kind of sent me off the deep end. Maybe go a little bit bonkers. I hope you enjoy. me losing my mind.
No. Honey, that ain't gonna work. I appreciate your effort, but it's not how it's done. And your $5 headdress off of Wish doesn't work either.
I could say the same thing about you and your shitty lighting.
Honey, if you're gonna do it right. Our regalia has much more beauty than that. And the dances are much more elegant and have much more meaning. And it just don't fit, honey. You only embarrassing yourself. You think you're looking good for the world, but to natives, you looking like a clown.
Now, lighting was one thing, putting me on Caesar watch and all that. But now I have to worry about nausea with all those jank-ass camera angles.
And I hope you see that. Stop sexualizing our woman, you dumb fuck. Thank you. If you do not want to do the things the way they're supposed to, you can leave it alone.
You're gonna get on her case for not putting in the extra effort to represent your people when this is the quality of content that you have shat into the world for people to view? Really?
It's not that hard. You're putting me and every other Native woman in danger by doing that. I hope you know that. Look up MMIW. It'll help.
I'm gonna need you to connect some dots for me. Because literally, how is doing a little dance on TikTok, wearing a headdress and a bikini, causing the missing and murdered Indigenous women crisis today? I must know. So we spent an awful lot of time in this TikTok bitching about the headdresses and the hairstyles discount Simon Cowell's style, and a very small amount of time actually talking about real issues like missing and murdered Indigenous women. I mean, the ratio is astounding, honestly. It makes me think you care less about the actual act of helping these women, either missing or murdered, and more about gatekeeping so that they have, I don't know, a small community of things that they can come back to comfort them. Make it make sense, please.
So Homeboy, also known as Social Repos, is back at it again. And once again, using Indigenous culture as a costume. Bro, go the fuck away.
Show me a headdress that looks like that. Please, go ahead. Do it. Show me a Native American who walks around looking like Social Repos in full regalia, because I guarantee you will never find a Native American that has ever even come close to approaching that whole shtick. Why are you wasting your energy on this? Why? What good does it do you? Everyone can see that this is not a genuine, good faith, respectful representation of Native American culture, and that he has no right to wear the headdress because of historical reasons and such. But why do you care? What is he doing to you, aside from just existing with that on his head, that is impeding you from existing past this point? I must know. I am about to have my little soldier standing at full attention, with a little throwback for all you longtime fans of the channel to my Kangs days, and we do so with a TikTok PowerPoint presentation set to music with a random woman just nodding along like she agrees with everything that is being portrayed on screen. Hurdy-durdy-dur-durdy-durdy-durdy-dur. Hurdy-durdy-dur. Hurdy-durdy-durdy-durdy-dur. Here is where I play some voice recordings over the music so that it is fair use, because this is entirely too long of an audio track for me to justify just leaving it in here, because holy crap, is it long. PowerPoint. Hurdy-durdy-dur. Hurdy-durdy-dur-dur-dur. Hurdy-durdy-dur-dur-dur-dur-dur. Hippity-doo-dah. Zippity-zoo-dah. Hoppity-hoppity, bippity-boppity, boopity-hop. Hurdy-durdy-dur. Hurdy-durdy-dur. Hurdy-durdy-dur-dur-dur-dur. Ha-durdy-durdy-dur-dur-dur-dur-dur. Yes. More of that low-effort content that we love to see. I wouldn't just tease you with a little throwback to my Black Egyptian days, ladies and gentlemen. No. We have an actual nutcase, Radio 1 style, to contend with today.
I think black people were first. Black people are the original Indians. When Europeans came to America, they didn't discover it. We discovered it. When they came over here, they said that our skin was so dark that it turned blue.
Now, I know you didn't just appropriate my boy, Paul Harrison. R.I.P. in peace, my boy Papa Smurf.
The pyramids, the beautiful, beautiful pyramids. This is Egypt. This is motherland of black people. This is where we came from. This is the most ancient civilization on the planet.
Correction, that would be the indigenous peoples of Australia, circa 50,000 BCE. Whereas ancient Egyptians have only been around since around circa 3,150 BCE. But go off, ma'am.
These motherfuckers are colonizers and terrorists. The dark matter in space, that's called melanin, which is in black people, so we came from space as well. Aliens.
Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to explain to me how black people can have come from space while simultaneously also having Egypt as their motherland, if a motherland is supposedly supposed to be the origin of a people. That's some wild shit right there. Indeed it is.
And of course I have to mention the sun because as black people, we are literal plants. So we need the sun.
Sorry, passed out there due to the blood rushing from my head directly to other places. Is she for real? I can't tell. This could be a troll, but then it could also not be a troll because there are people out there who genuinely believe this nonsense. No joke.
I'm an Indian now.
Just a reminder that a feathered headdress is also called a war bonnet and was worn into battle as a challenge to the enemy. So if you see a non-native wearing one, it means they're looking for a fight and it's okay to knock them out.
Do it! I triple dragon dog dare you to do it!
Speak not against lights, you fools.
I'm iced out, looking like a star. Her name.
You know, I was taking a very much needed break from TikTok. That was until one of my followers sent me this.
I am not quite sure how this one made it on here, since obviously this person is an elder member of some tribal pre-colonial nation based off of the irrefutable evidence we just bore witness to, but let's continue then, shall we?
I'm used to this from Caucasian people, from white people. They constantly culturally appropriate everybody. But I've never seen someone else from another minority group whose culture is constantly appropriate another culture.
You've never seen that? Like, never?
Like, what? I don't get it. What made you decide this was a good idea? Like, how would you feel if I culturally appropriated your culture? Like, what if I put blackface on and said hashtag dress up like you did?
Unless you are the sitting Prime Minister of Canada, the world would absolutely dunk on you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that racist? Is that cultural appropriation? Yes. Just like wearing a headdress is also racist and culturally appropriating.
Also, how dare you culturally appropriate ginger culture like that? As a strawberry blonde, golden strawberry blonde, I feel obligated to challenge you to a duel. Where's my war bonnet?
Have you ever been punched in your motherfucking face? What you say? Oh, you haven't? Alright, wait, bitch!
Got all these First Nations people, and they really, really want to fight so bad. However, they forgot how badly that ended for them the last time. But in all seriousness, the time that you spent whinging about a non-nation person's donning a war bonnet and feathers and doing a silly dance to tribal music is a colossal waste of energy. Better spent posting about your cultures in hopes of better educating the world on them. The beauty of them, the history of them, the actual legitimate problems they face today, all that jazz. Why not focus on that aspect?
I don't think you bitches get it, okay? You can't outdo the doer, okay? You can't outshine the shiner, baby.
I'm pressed to ask a question. That question being, why do we hate women? I mean, I know why we hate women. It's rhetorical for you lads. They're bitches. But why are women hating on other women? Just for hairstyles. That's not doing anything to you except for happening to fall within your line of sight and bringing you to a point of outrage. That's it. We can most assuredly conclude that the only reason for this outrage is because someone told you that you should feel outraged for a person with not the right skin tone having a specific hairdo. Some asshole came along and told you, hey, we need to segregate hairstyles based on skin color because your granddaddy tried to segregate people based on skin color, and you jumped right on board with that. A second thought about it, and started shaming people for wearing the wrong hairstyles with the wrong skin color. Savvy? And you want to know what happens as a result of you spouting your ignorance, bigotry, and nonsense?
So I am half black and half white, but I'm obviously super white passing because my skin is super white. But my hair looks like this, and I had box braids at one point in my life because I was waiting for my hair to grow out, and I had box braids at one point in my life because I was waiting for my hair to grow out, but I was seen as a white person just culture appropriating, and I didn't want to put that vibe out there. That's not what I was trying to do, but I understand why in that case it makes sense. But if my hair, no matter how much I brush it out, does like immediately just want to dread or lock itself. It's always has since I was a child. And I kind of contemplate getting locks or locking my hair, and I don't know if that is appropriate because, like I said, super white passing, don't know if it's fair, don't know.
This poor girl is suffering from genuine internalized issues surrounding race and her role in her community. She wants to do the natural and healthy thing for her hair, but hesitates because she knows that because of her skin, people are going to call her out despite being mixed. You are hurting the very people you are trying to gatekeep this specific hairstyle for. Let's be honest, black hairstyles aren't as much a cultural heritage thing as they are out of necessity due to a hair texture thing. Hair texture, hair oil content, dryness, and other factors centered around scalp-related nonsense. At least with the natives, their headdresses are out of honor and pride, so I could see why they'd be salty. But hair is a thing that you grow out of your head, your very scalp. What a person does with his or her own hair should be a non-issue across the board.
I wear this because I have a job interview tomorrow.
This is exactly why we call it cultural appropriation. This is why it's not just hair. Your ability to just take off the hair and be presentable, be digestible for the white man when it is convenient for you, when we do not have that option, that is the problem.
You can shave, madam.
It is the fact that we are still getting scrutinized when you get to just take off our culture and wear it as a caricature whenever the fuck you please.
Your problem here, it seems to me, isn't with the person wearing it per se. It's with the fact that people have a problem with those hairstyles, which, yes, is stupid. But you should be getting salty with the employers who have a problem with that hairstyle, not with a person who wears the hair with the wrong skin color, because at that point you've crossed the threshold from justified activist to blatantly racist.
This is exactly why we don't want non-black people touching our shit. This is why.
I'll say it once more for the people in the back. That is her own damn hair. Go mind your P's and Q's. You wanna know how you know you've gone too far as a movement? When it brings people near to tears over the fact that their complexion excludes them from joining and engaging in an aspect of culture they should, by all rights, according to you, because of their heritage, have. This is the grand conclusion that we are coming to.
Recording every time I see cultural appropriation at Spirit.
You're not listening to Cam Bam's radio, bitch.
White people can have natural afros. Are the leg warmers meant to be appropriation of furry culture, or what's going on? Anyway, moving on. It's not just hair that we have no right to, but in fact, it's also the products that we have no right to too. Go figure.
Y'all make me
I
sick.
saw this comment, and so
Y'all made this girl feel bad about using hair products. They're hair products. Y'all making it seem like the girl said the N-word or something. Like, I'm just very, very confused. If she has curly hair, she has every right to use products that are made for curly-haired people. If she wants her curls to be popping like the queen she sees, she has every right to use them. From me to you, girl, it's okay. Your hair looks gorgeous. It is popping and it looks delicious. Keep using them damn products. Don't listen to them haters.
You know, I thought we were supposed to be supporting Black-owned businesses. Whatever happened to that? And of course, Black-owned businesses are the ones that cater towards curly hair. Not black hair, curly hair. Because you can have curly hair and not be black, as we've demonstrated in this video. Ergo, they cater to the curly-haired, which is a very specific hair type with very specific needs, and yet we are gatekeeping. Why?
You know the boys had to spice up senior pics.
This is the most evident way to see that blackness is a costume for non-black people. Bring back jumping people for repping sets they don't belong to.
Thank you, self-righteous TikTok, for teaching me that violence is a solution to petty disagreements. I will go forward in the knowledge and kick ass with the power of critical race theory on my side. Remember, if it is in the name of social justice, it does not count. Your Honor, the TikToker was clearly motivated by blinding rage in the face of the white man's do-rag. Next!
Let's talk. See this? This is not what we're gonna do.
I'm not entirely sure what the issue is here. Like, she's wearing makeup. What is the beef?
I know I did not get mocked for having small eyes and chinky eyes for you guys to be doing this and call it a fox-eye trend.
Are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? You just want to be mad about something so bad, so you get angry that someone's eyeliner follows the curve of their eyelid?
If you can't wear a culture correctly, then don't wear it at all. You cannot just pick and choose what you like. Don't get me started on this.
Without even looking, tell me what the name of this head covering is and which religion uses it.
This is not a hat. This is a turban.
Specifically, it's a dastar worn by the Sikh.
This has religious, cultural significance to it, which many don't even understand.
I'm curious to know, are you aware of the cultural significance behind the dastar?
And this, you do not pick and choose what you want from someone's culture because you think it's cute. If you are gonna wear it, you wear it respectfully with everything else that comes with it.
I don't really get what's so disrespectful about Kim K wearing a mangtika. I believe that's how it's pronounced. All the resources that I looked into said that although generally worn by brides in Indian culture, it can also be worn by women of all ages for any special occasion that requires je ne sais quoi. Yes, she's not Indian, but you're literally gatekeeping a piece of jewelry that is customarily unrestricted to the people.
See this is not what we finna do. Our culture is not gonna become some American consumerism.
It's a dress. Patterned with gold embroidery on red fabric, yes, but a dress, nonetheless. Not one culture owns that concept, dear. Fuck out of here with your nonsense.
And don't get me started on how racism is so normalized against Asians. It's ugly on us, but cute on you. What's the problem there?
No, you just have an ugly attitude, fam.
Just look at the way she did her lashes like WTF and the chopsticks in her hair not boo-boo. Smells like Asian fishing to me.
Long lashes and hair stick does not Asian make. What the fuck? Why do I even need to say this? Listen, if your biggest issue is some bitches putting their makeup on in a way that makes you uncomfortable, you got it real good. And if it's one of the many issues you as a person face, how about focus your energy on fixing those problems that you can actually fix, rather than getting pissy about people you've never met on the internet. You know, a friend once told me this little prayer and it kind of stuck with me. And it goes something like this. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. There will always be assholes in the world that don't live up to your standards about respecting your culture, and there's jack diddly squat that you can do short of an apocalyptic event. But what you can do is change the way you react to the thing that upsets you. Find some inner peace. Get closure. Just put it to bed. You'll live a lot longer and have a lot less stress. Trust me, you'll be happier.
I get Asian fishing comments way more than I expected on this app, and I think there's two layers to that. First one being people like Kylie that kind of have blurred the lines of what people of other races are supposed to look like to the average person. The second layer is how people coined the word Asian fishing to mean specifically East Asian fishing when there's West Asians that exist. This is Asia. I don't know, Russia is debatable, but all this is Asia. And I think East Asian fishing specifically kind of includes Southeast Asians as well, because the beauty standards are set here, which is East Asia. And I'm Chinese. I'm born and raised in China, and I'm from this part of China. China's huge, you know? So obviously my features are not gonna look like the same people that live here. And depending on how I do my makeup, sometimes I look like this, and sometimes I look like this. I am Chinese. And also, I don't know if her account's still there. I think she deleted her account because so many people were calling her an Asian fisher, but she responded and saying she's not Asian fishing because she's Kurdish, which is a West Asian country. And she lives in Japan, she speaks Japanese, she's very kawaii vibes. And I think that's tricky too, because culture appropriation is never just about one thing. It's about power dynamics. And I think it's like extra important to be aware of the power dynamics in Asian fishing, because it is just makeup. Really, it is just makeup and aesthetics. And the East Asian like makeup stems from European beauty standards. Like, it's made to make our eyes look bigger because our eyes are smaller compared to our beauty standards, which are Eurocentric beauty standards. So for that girl, she lived in Europe, and she's like kind of white passing, you know? So she doesn't understand the discrimination that comes from your eyes being smaller or your nose being flatter. Like that's the trauma part. And another really big part of Asian fishing, I think, is, are you also obsessively consuming the aesthetic that you're trying to portray? It's like, do you really like just this makeup, or do you like the people that you see it on? The moral of the story is that when I look more West Asian on this app, people think I'm Asian fishing.
I really appreciate this TikTok, actually, even if we don't agree on all of her points, because it's an excellent example of a person taking the nuance of a topic and actively parsing through it, giving their thoughts, and sussing out the complexities of the topic. It's a video that breeds discussion, and I think that's what we need more of. Even though it's a little bit longer than most TikToks, it's something that we need a little bit more of. Thought-provoking content. I like this. The main point she makes is that what we recognize as Asia encompasses a large array of cultures, much like Africa, much like the Native Americas, much like Latin America, that there are more than one culture, ethnic group, and heritage you're attempting to gatekeep for under this umbrella list of Black, Asian, Native, Hispanic. Cultures are complex, and as we become more integrated with each other over the many generations that have integrated with each other and migrated to and fro, the boundaries, they become blurred. You will encounter people embracing them in ways you don't necessarily appreciate, but someone else might, and that's okay. By gatekeeping, you are only succeeding in alienating others from yourself and your culture, which in turn otherizes you to those people. Now, if you want to be included, you have to include others, because it is a two-way street. Sure, educate them if they're being disrespectful, but the vast majority of those talks read as angry, childish, immature, and hostile, and you can go ahead and miss me with that nonsense, okay? Also, there's this.
I don't think you bitches get it, okay? You can't outdo the doer, okay?
Sir, can you please back the fuck off my chops? I am trying to make a living here. What don't you get about that? Pirates. Pirates are not unique to any one culture, I'll have you know. And it is racist to suggest that all Romani are pirates. It also is a little bit sketchy, the implications of that claim. They're more than slightly offensive. So, what did we learn today, class? I learned that, much like alcohol, violence is a solution. Black people simultaneously come from Egypt and space, are the original Indians, and they are in fact plants. And eye makeup is Asian fishing.
So this is for my my fellow white folks. So if you're not white, you can keep scrolling because I love you. Don't take offense because I said I love you to my relatives and not you white people. You guys just caused me a lot of trauma, so be understandable, please.
Now, I mean this with the fullest extent of my penis because I care. Seek therapy for your deep-seated resentments, child. It will help you find inner peace, I am sure.
Anyways, do you guys know that when you use Palo Santo and it's not ethically sourced and actually harvested in the right way, you guys are just cleansing with wood? Did you know that?
So essentially you've just told us that this holy wood native to South American countries utilized for thousands of years as medicine is in fact useless unless specific conditions are met. If it's not that, I could just as easily achieve the same results with a stick I found outside. If that's the case, then, ladies and gentlemen, I have a bridge to sell you.
And do you know the reason why a lot of indigenous and Mexican people say not to use white sage and Palo Santo is because they are threatened? They're threatened because you guys massively harvest our medicines for your benefit and they don't even actually work for you?
You know, it's probably a good marketing tactic to undermine the utility of this wood, especially if those trees happen to be on the verge of extinction. So, props, fan.
I just think it's so funny. You guys need to stop appropriating other cultures, please. You guys are white, so.
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. Trees say fuck off.